Man, if you're thinking about buying a used Silverado, stop everything right now. Because there are 5 specific years that are literal ticking time bombs disguised as pickup trucks. And the worst part? The dealers know this and won't tell you. But I will. Look, I love Silverados. Been driving one for 15 years. But there's stuff that needs to be said. GM made some of the best trucks in history, and also some of the absolute worst. And today, I'm going to show you exactly which years to avoid, like your financial life depends on it. Because honestly, it does. If you're the type who'd rather know the truth before dropping 30 grand on a lemon, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. Because here we don't have any ties to any dealership. Year number 1, 2007 to 2008 Silverado, the AFM nightmare. Starting with the absolute champion of problems, any 2007 or 2008 Silverado with the 5.3L engine and AFM, active fuel management. You know that genius idea GM had to deactivate cylinders to save gas? Yeah, it saves gas all right, until the engine explodes. Literally. The AFM lifters fail, cause a chain reaction that destroys the cans, and before you know it, you're looking at a $7,000 rebuild bill. Met a guy in Houston who bought a 2007 with 98,000 miles. Beautiful on the outside, great price. 3 months later, engine knocking like a typewriter. Diagnosis? Catastrophic AFM failure. Repair cost? More than the truck was worth. The cruel part? GM knew about the problem. There were recalls, class action lawsuits, the whole 9 yards. But many trucks never got fixed. And guess who pays the bill now? Red flags to identify: any tick-tick, noise from the engine, oil consumption over 1 quart every 2,000 miles. Frequent P0300 codes, misfire, seller who gets nervous when you mention AFM. If you already own one of these, do the AFM delete yesterday. It'll cost about 2 grand, but it's that or a new engine. Year number 2, 2014 to 2015 Silverado, the suicidal transmission. Now, if you think engine problems are bad, let me introduce you to the 2014 to 2015 Silverados with the 8L98 speed transmission. This transmission is like that friend who promises everything but always lets you down. On paper, 8 speeds, fuel economy, smoothness. In practice, a Pandora's box of problems. The torque converter shudders like it has Parkinson's. Between 25 and 75 miles per hour, the truck shakes so bad it feels like you're driving on a dirt road. Owners describe it as driving with a square tire. But wait, it gets worse. The transmission oil pump fails, usually without warning. One day you're driving fine, the next you're on the shoulder with a fried $6,000 transmission. My neighbor had a 2014. Spent 4 grand on transmission repairs in 18 months. Sold it at a $12,000 loss just to get rid of the problem. He drives an F-150 now. Yeah, it got to that point. Warning signs. Vibration between 25 to 75 miles per hour. The infamous Chevy shake, harsh shifts, especially first to second, delay engaging reverse, dark or burnt-smelling transmission fluid before 50k miles. Year number 3, 2019 Silverado, the year of shame. 2019 was the year GM decided to redesign everything, and managed to ruin everything. First, the 2.7L turbo 4-cylinder engine. Yes, you read that right. 4 cylinders in a Silverado. It's like putting a Civic engine in a truck. But it's not just the shame of having a 4-banger under the hood. This engine has a fatal flaw in the lubrication system. The oil pump fails prematurely, usually between 20 to 40k miles. Result? Blown engine. Cost? $12,000 for a new engine. On a truck you're still making payments on. But wait, there's more. The 2019's electrical system is a nightmare. The BCM module fails constantly, leaving you locked out of, or inside, your own truck. Windows that open by themselves. Radio that turns on at 3 a.m. Battery that dies out of nowhere. A Chevy dealership mechanic told me, and I swear this is true, they had so many 2019s coming back under warranty, they created a separate area just for them. He called it the 2019 graveyard. Guaranteed problems: oil pump failure, 2.7T engine, random and constant electrical issues, absurd fuel consumption, worse than the V8S, 40% depreciation in the first year. Year number 4, 2003 to 2004 Silverado, 2500 HD/3500 HD models, the injector disaster. Now let's talk diesels. The 2003 to 2004 Silverado HDs with the Duramax LB7 are like dating someone with issues. Starts well, but always ends in tears and an empty bank account. The problem? Injectors that fail like dominoes. It's not a question of if they'll fail, it's when. And when they fail, diesel leaks into the oil, dilutes everything, and your $15,000 engine becomes scrap. GM saved $50 per truck by putting the injectors under the valve covers. That means to replace the injectors, which will definitely fail, you need to tear apart half the engine. Cost? $5,000 to $7,000. Every 100K miles, if you're lucky. I knew a contractor who bought a 2004 for work. In 3 years, he replaced the injectors 3 times. Spent more on injectors than he paid for the truck. Today, he has a Ram and swears he'll never buy GM diesel again. How to identify the problem? Excessive white smoke on startup, strong diesel smell in the oil, injector balance rates out of spec, seller who insists they already replaced the injectors, huge red flag. Year number 5, 2016 to 2018 Silverado, the chaos trifecta. Last, but definitely not least problematic, the 2016 to 2018 Silverados, especially with the 5.3L engine. These years combine all the previous problems in a special headache package. AFM still problematic. Yes, 10 years later. Still not fixed. Early 8L90 transmission. Same problems as 2014 to 2015. AC system that dies. Compressor fails on average at 40K miles. $1,500. But the worst defect? The absurd oil consumption. These engines drink oil like I drink beer on Sunday. 1 quart every 1,000 miles is normal, according to GM. Normal? My 1998 Corolla with 300K miles doesn't drink that much. A friend of mine has a 2017. Beautiful LTZ fully loaded. Know what he does every weekend? Adds oil. It's part of the routine. Mow the lawn, wash the car, add oil to the Silverado. Worse, when you complain at the dealership, they do the consumption test, confirm it's drinking oil, and say, it's within spec. Makes you want to cry. Look, I'm not here to destroy GM. They've made and still make great trucks. But these 5 specific years? They're financial traps disguised as pickups. If you already have one of these, I'm sorry, but now you know what you're facing. If you're thinking about buying, please run. There are plenty of good Silverados out there. Those engines I showed in the last video, remember? Golden rule. When in doubt, pay an independent mechanic $150 for a complete inspection before buying. It's the best investment you'll ever make. So, do you have or know someone who had one of these bombs? What was the experience? Tell us in the comments. Let's create a support network for survivors of these problematic Silverados. If this video saved you from making a bad purchase, hit that like button and share it with that friend who's eyeing a 2019 Silverado thinking they got a deal. Next week, I'm going to show you how to identify a really good Silverado in 10 minutes of inspection. Spoiler, there's a trick with a quarter that reveals everything about the engine. Until then, and remember, not all Silverados are created equal.